Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Another little video about what I have been reading recently. I'm doing a really terrible job of reading this year in terms of the quantity of what I've been reading. I did say at the end of last year I wasn't going to set any big targets for the number of books to read this year, but even taking that into account, this is my third book and we're right at the end of March, so one a month. It's not terrible, but this book is about 140 pages long and it's taken me basically the whole month to read it, just because I've been so rubbish and I just kept like reading a page and then putting it down for a week and then not really getting anywhere with it. The chapters are incredibly short, they're only like 1 or 2 pages long, so when I actually sat down to finish it off today I read about 70 pages in an hour or whatever, so I was just being really rubbish about actually reading it. Boyfriend got this for me. It's called The Guest Cat by Takashi Hiraide. I'm sorry. So a Japanese author who lives in Tokyo, and obviously this is the English language version. This is translated by Eric Selland. Like I said, it's really short and it is called The Guest Cat, and it is about a couple in their 30s who live in a guest house attached to a bigger house, so sort of in the garden or the estate of the bigger house, and a cat starts to come and visit them, coming into their garden, and slowly they become more acquainted with the cat and start to feed it, and it comes into their house and they put out food and play with it, but it never really becomes their cat. It's sort of technically owned by the neighbours, and they just maintain this kind of secondary, sort of slightly secret relationship with this cat that comes to visit them, and it retains its independence, its uniqueness. It's described as being a very unique looking cat and the way it behaves. They give it a name that's like lightning catcher is like its nickname, because of the way it darts around, and it's a little bit skittish and reluctant to become too close to human beings, but they develop a genuine affection and fondness for the cat. It's a very short book, and it was apparently, from what I gather from reading the book, based on essays that the author wrote about his relationship with the cat, that he then put together into a very short novel. Not much happens, which is kind of a common thing in some Japanese literature that I've read. Like, it's not necessarily really plot driven, and it's more of an internal monologue, his thoughts and feelings about the cat, and it kind of also touches on you know, ownership of the cat and the pet, and boundaries between people, and also, obviously, as is kind of obligatory in Japanese literature, it also touches on the seasons, the changing seasons, the weather. Descriptions of all the changing seasons has to be included in every Japanese book. They love the seasonality within Japan. And, you know, other things about their lives, but nothing much happens. It's quite a nice, sweet book, but I have to admit that I was getting, at times, a little bit bored, and I kind of wish that something happened. Still worth a read. It's a nice short book that still managed to take me ages to read, so I tick this off, and I'm going to try and pick out a longer book for April, if I'm just doing one book a month apparently, and I'm going to actually try and sit down and properly read it. The problem that I've got at the moment is that we're under coronavirus lockdown, which you think would just give me loads more free time, and we can't really go out, so what, you know, and it was snowing this morning as well, so it's like the weather's pretty rubbish to go out. Not nice snow, just like cold slush. But for some reason, no, I just have kind of lost my motivation. Being inside all the time, working from home, and then just being at home in the evenings and the weekends, it doesn't really inspire you, or it doesn't inspire me to like do stuff. So I have been struggling a bit with making my videos, reading, getting stuff done, doing my sewing, etc. But I'm trying, persevering. Also, I used to do most of my reading on the train going into work, and I'm no longer taking the train going into work because I'm working from home, so my commute is about 3 seconds now, which is nice, but it does mean that I don't do the I don't read very much at the moment, so I really have to like get myself into reading, because when I do read I feel better. I think it's also not just staying at my phone all the time and having less screen time. I feel better. So that's my goal for April, is to actually read consistently and perhaps read a longer book, because I got loads of books for Christmas and they're all like giant. Like this was just like a little extra bonus book just like thrown in by boyfriend. It wasn't even the book I asked for, which is significantly longer. So I'm gonna have to read one of the ones I actually asked for, given that people bought them for me. Anyway, rambling again. If you have any thoughts on how to keep motivated with reading, please let me know in the comments below. If you've liked the video, please give me a like, and if you'd like to see more, please subscribe. I'm up to 300 subscribers, which is obviously pretty small in the YouTube world, but still 300 is a bit of a milestone, so thank you very much if you have subscribed, and if you haven't, please do, so that I can get up to 400 and 500 and 1,000 and 1,000,000. That would be nice.